This video was brought to you in part by the supporters of the AMTV Patreon. Thank you. Hi there guys, it's Adam Martyn here, and welcome back to another installment of the Now Review, and this time we have a brand new spin-off to take a look at, and we're going all the way back to the 1970s, a very up and down decade in terms of world events, but in music, certainly a cracker. And for today, we're looking at Now Disco Classics Boogie Nights. Or Now Boogie Nights Disco Classics, however you want to phrase it. I always get confused with these titles. But anyway, this is basically focusing on the disco era of music, which really, I guess, exploded in popularity via the mainstream sort of in the mid to late 70s. So lots of iconic songs I'm sure we're going to have. We have had a Now That's What I Call Disco before. It was one of my earliest reviews here on the Now Review. Back in 2018 I reviewed it, I think. So you can check that out if you like. So it'll be interesting to see what we get here. First of all, looking at the cover, I love obviously the O of Now as a disco ball. That makes, you know, a lot of sense, as you'd expect. And the O's here of Boogie Nights are sort of intertwined. It sort of reminds me of like a spin-off of the Gucci logo, but I'm not sure if that's meant to like represent anything. It does sort of look like the infinity symbol, the two circles joined together. I mean, you know, disco is infinite, I guess. It has stood the test of time. But yeah, Boogie Nights, the font of this as well is in that very typical sort of 70s font that was, I don't know the actual name of the font, but it was used a lot back in the 1970s across a whole variety of products. So nice to see it here. And you can see at the bottom, we have a little scroll of text giving you an indication of just who's going to be on this thing, including artists such as ABBA, Donna Summer, Chic, Diana Ross, Sister Sledge, Gloria Gaynor, and I would go through the whole list, but I mean, look, there's so many there. We're going to get into it, don't you worry. I just want to say about the colours, we're using mainly like reds here, lots of reds, a tint of purple. I actually quite like this. The original disco album that came out was mainly like blues and greens, which do work as well, but it's nice to see some red. If you watch movies like Saturday Night Fever, it's caked in red and a bunch of other colours, so nice theming there, guys. Well done. In terms of the case, it's in the now standard sort of, you know, thin cardboard case. So there is your spine there. And we have 4 CDs to look at. So let's get having a look at the track list. The all-important track list. Okay, so looking at CD 1, you have ABBA, Dancing Queen, an iconic disco classic. You have Baccara with Yes Sir, I Can Boogie. And of course, sadly, I believe one of the lead singers from that passed away recently, which is a great shame. You have Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive, again, very iconic. The Village People with YMCA, you can't go away from hearing that at a disco these days. Le Freak by Chic. Sister Sledge with He's the Greatest Dancer. You've got Sheila and Be Devotion with Spacer, which has been sampled numerous times for more modern songs. Diana Ross with Upside Down. The Tramps with Disco Inferno, it's got to be on there, hasn't it? The Spinners with Working My Way Back to You and Forgive Me Girl, I suppose. Jumping on over to CD2 for a second, you have Donna Summer with I Feel Love. Of course, she's known as the Queen of Disco. Lips Inc. with Funky Town, which was one of the last initial disco hits of the early 80s. Earth, Wind and Fire with The Emotions and Boogie Wonderland. McFadden and Whitehead with Ain't No Stopping Us Now. Tavares with More Than a Woman. Yvonne Elliman with If I Can't Have You. Great song from Saturday Night Fever there. Taste of Honey with Boogie Oogie Oogie. Rose Royce with Car Wash, Kool and the Gang with Get Down on It, The Real Thing with Can You Feel the Force, and the Jackson 5 with Dancing Machine, one of the early purveyors of disco, of course popularised the robot dance, but that's great to have it here. You have Barry White with You're the First, The Last, My Everything, again, another well-loved disco song. Okay, carrying on back to CD1. Oh, Chaka Khan, I'm Every Woman. Great thing there. And just these last few tracks, a lot more recognisable ones as well. You Make Me Feel, Mighty Wheel by Sylvester. That's one a lot of people certainly know. Giving Up, Giving In by the 3 Degrees. Rasputin by Boney M, which of course has been repopularised as a TikTok remix, I believe. So yeah, I'm down with the kids. And the last song on CD1 is Thelma Houston with Don't Leave Me This Way. That being the original, not the Communards version, of course. And just hopping over to CD2, what else have we got here? You've got Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes with The Love I Lost. I like the If You Don't Know Me by Now, but I guess that's not too disco. Who else we got here? Artists I'm not too familiar with, but I know Eruption with I Can't Stand the Rain. That's a great track there. I Lost My Heart to a Starship Trooper by Sarah Brightman and Hot Gossip. Wonderful. And the last one on here is the Ra Band with the Crunch. Don't know that one, but the one above it by Miko is the Star Wars theme in Cantina Band. Basically, there was a disco remix of the Star Wars theme, and in the US at least, it got to number 1. That actually happened. Okay, hopping over to CD3, you have Chic again with Good Times, again another iconic disco song. Sister Sledge again with We Are Family. Earth, Wind and Fire with Do You Remember the 21st Night of September. Obviously, you'll see a lot of these artists repeat because they had numerous hits in the disco age, so it makes sense. Relight My Fire, Dan Hartman, wonderful. Take Me Home by Cher. Donna Summer again with I Love You. Sheila and B Devotion with Singing in the Rain. Voyage with Souvenirs. Light My Fire, Amy Stewart. Great tracks here. And just hopping over to CD4, Heatwave with Boogie Nights. Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons with December of 63. That's a classic that always comes up when you're at parties these days. Kool and the Gang with Celebration. Again, awesome. The Gap Band with I Don't Believe You Want to Get Up and Dance. Or Oops Upside Your Head. Again, if you know the dance, you know it's a bit of a strain, but it's fun. Irene Cara with Fame, of course, of the hit musical. The Village People with In the Navy. Diana Ross with I'm Coming Out. Odyssey there with Use It Up and Wear It Out. Cracking on back to CD3 for just a hot second. Who else have we got here? We've got The Emotions. We've got La Belle. Grace Jones. Yes, Grace Jones had some disco hits. Edwin Starr. The OJs. The Whispers. Again, as we go on, I recognise less and less. I do know Peaches and Herb with Shake Your Groove Thing. That's a great song. And the last song on CD3 is Stephanie Mills with Never Knew Love Like This Before. Wonderful. And just hopping back to CD4 for the last few we've got there. What else do we have then? I noticed we've got Kelly Marie with Feels Like I'm in Love. Again, like Funky Town, one of the later hits of the disco age, sort of around 1980, maybe early 1981 as well. You've got the Nolans, because of course you do. Leif Garrett, Gloria Gaynor again, Casey and the Sunshine Band with That's the Way, wonderful song. Hot Chocolate, yes, don't think we've seen them before. Leo Sayer, nice to see him here as well. And the last song, as you'd expect. I noticed this, CD1 started with ABBA, we're finishing with ABBA. This is Voulez-Vous, and it claims to be the extended remix. Oh, I haven't heard that. So probably like 5-6 minutes long, I guess. So all in all, you've got 21 tracks on CD1, 22 on CD2, 22 on CD3, and 22 on CD4. So that, folks, is a whopping 87 different tracks. So, 87 tracks. That's such a killer track list, isn't it? So many great iconic disco tunes on there as well for you to delve and sink your teeth into. But let's open it up, shall we? Let's see what's on the inside. Is it the usual? Or you've got the lovely disco ball there, minus all the front cover text. That's a lovely image, actually. That's a frameable image, if you ask me. Good job now, designers. Also available, you have now Glam Pop 70s, another popular genre of the era, and now that's what I call Eurovision's Song Contest, which is definitely the best album of the year. I'm not biased at all, you should definitely get it. You can follow Now Music on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, as usual. And opening up, looking at the discs here, all of them seem roughly the same, with the Boogie Nights font there. Is there a slight colour variation? No, it all looks to be similar. Sparkly disc. Oh wait, I stand corrected. That one's pink and that one is purple. Okay, so you have a little bit of difference color-wise, but the basic design's the same. I like this. Yeah, it's simple. Maybe it could have done with a little bit more. I'm not sure what I would have put in there, but all in all, it's not the worst disc design I've ever seen. And of course, we're getting these in these cardboard sleeves. I know not everyone's a fan, but we've got to help the planet. You know, we've got to help that environment. So, 87 tracks, and the question, of course, is, if I can fold this back up, all bells and whistles on this show, is it worth your hard-earned time and money? Well, you've got to take into account the previous disco album, which I think was released in 2013. That was a 3-disc album, so roughly around 60 tracks. So already, you're getting an extra 20 tracks. I'm sure some of them will overlap. I can't remember the track list off the top of my head, but I'm certain some will overlap for sure. But there's probably also stuff that hasn't appeared on that one before. You know, the rights change, things change, but you've got loads of great artists there. You know, ABBA for one, Chic, Donna Summer, you know, all these disco icons of the era. And of course, if you are a fan of disco, if you like to get up and dance, if you like the music, then I think this is a must-buy. Absolutely. Whether you have the original disco album or not, I would say this is a must-buy. Obviously, disco has its detractors, and fair to say, if you don't like disco, then maybe Boogie Nights is not for you. I think that's a fair assumption to say. But, you know, all being well, this is a really great album, one of my favourites from this year. I love disco music. I love the the feel-good vibe it has, the get-up-and-dance side of it. So this album is a joy to own, and I'll definitely be playing the discs on this and boogieing out myself. And it's available all the usual places, HMV, also online retailers. I think supermarkets are still doing it, even though Now has less of a presence. Well, CDs have less of a presence in supermarkets, but it's available for a tenner. So you're getting 87 disco songs for £10. That is a bargain if I ever did see one. But that is all for this installment on the Now Review. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please remember to leave a like on this video and let me know in the comments down below. Are you going to pick up Now Boogie Nights Disco Classics, or are you going to pass? Is it not for you? Let me know in those comments. Please subscribe to the channel if you're brand new, and until the next one, I will see you next time.